Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to part 11 of the snow speeder build. Today we're going to actually start applying some decals, so let's head over to the bench. Okay, well, now I did a lot of extra stuff here off camera. Did these shades of gray here in these areas. A little bit up on that lump there. Both sides here did a shade, a couple shades of gray lighter. We got that one in there. We looked up some reference pictures, got those little pieces there, and some of this is taking liberty too. Even with a even lighter gray in that little panel there, I saw on a photo. On the camera it looks the same as these, but it's actually lighter than those. And then did that same light gray back here around the engine area on both sides. And then went through and scratched them and damaged them up. You know, especially here, trying to make some of the damages I did on that come across. So, it's looking good. That's that. And then we did some stuff on the bottom. The bottom's looking all good. This is that real dark, almost like German gray. And then I did the same medium-ish gray there. And this I came up to at last. I wasn't even thinking of the bottom of the ship, and I was looking at photos, and I'm like, I think it was a Bandai kit. And I saw all that, and I'm like, ugh. That looks, you know, I forgot all about, you know, what type of paneling. Loose hair. I'm like, what type of paneling does the bottom of this have, you know? And then the other thing I did is I just took the decals, one of these fine point red markers, and all the raised detail little triangles are all over the ship. They're going to be really hard to see in this camera. You might be able to catch the ones in the front if I can get rid of the glare. You can see the little dots. That's what they look like. But they're all over the ship. And there's two up there and a bunch down here and two down there. I hit all those little triangles with red. I don't know if all of them were ever colored red. I know I've seen a couple, but I'm just going to do them all. I think it kind of brings detail to a ship that's doesn't have a whole lot, and being that this is an old school MPC, you know, it didn't have as much details like, say, if you got like a Bandai. But I think you know, I got the base situation ready. I already tested the lighting. Yeah, I clipped off the fronts and mushroomed them over with a lighter. These back here are so close. I hit that a little bit of lighter, got a little bit of burn. Because I got a little too close, but that burn's fine because I'm going to hit this up so it looks like they're a little blackened from the thrusters anyway, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, that's wrong. Those should have been reversed. Because if I could, whatever I decide to use that for, if I'm and I want the arrow to point back, well, I don't want on this side for the arrow to point forward. That would be kind of silly. And that should have been mirrored. If they would have flipped that so that you could put one this way and it reads right, even though it's that crazy, you know, Jedi world writing. They should have made it one where it could point one way and one it could point the other way, but it still reads correctly. Yeah, you know what I mean? All of them should be flipped, because I want to use these little red ones here, so then that would be like that, but which would be towards the front. But then on this one, which is fine, because then it's still going to read the same. But yeah, the Z's should be flipped. Oh, it is flipped, even in this image. Wow, so it's correct. This side, it's supposed to look like a Z, zoom, zoom, zoom. But I'm looking at the image on this side, and it is the opposite. So that's weird. That's really weird. That's okay. Well, at least that's correct then. Yeah, I have no idea what these circles go. I seen somebody put the circles right there. I don't know if that's canon. I gotta look at the... Even this book doesn't give you... I wish they would put out a book of Star Wars archives of the ships, of each ship in multiple angles. You know, like from the front, from each side, the back, the bottom. I would be happy. But yeah, if you can kind of see here, you can see the red trusses that are coming down and how that's all open. Yeah, right there, you can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it in the way this book is sitting. Right there, that's all open under there. Like that panel's missing. Just the outer panel. Oh, so they did have a glass in this. And in this one, that's why I was reading up here, it said the glass is missing. Or they took the glass out. And that's usually how they film it. Because they don't want the glare. So it's weird that they actually have glass in these. That's why I might go ahead and just kind of do a little bit of my own thing on this snowspeeder. It's like, when you're dealing with so many inaccuracies, do you like try to make it as accurate as you can with inaccurate stuff, or do you make it, you know, your own kind of version of it? Keep it accurate to the world, but like this doesn't have to be technically labeled as Luke Skywalker's snowspeeder. Let's start with those because then that gets them out of the way. Let's get these guys soaking because I can't remember when I did the computer one on the dash. But for some reason I think these took forever to soften up because they're so old. And that's the thing with old ones, they take a while to soften. But I think if you're patient enough, you can get them to work. Alright, are you guys soft? Let's see. I think so because I see stuff sliding. So, that one still has a little bit of a bubbly edge, and that's that Carrier film that is a wee bit too big. Well, let's let that set in and dry, and then we'll keep applying it. They will settle. Even these old ones, I have faith. So let's add those Z's on the... Let's get you guys on there. First of all, let's cut the writing off so that's never in our way. The writing and numbers, you know, they're always in your way. It's the side if you don't cut the numbers off before you wet the decal, that's the side that's always going to be in, like, you want to swipe off, or your decal goes towards that. I still got to do the red here detail on these ends of the fins here. Yeah, it's pretty much centered to the window and centered up and down. Let's give this a whirl. So, again, according to what we're seeing on this new studio miniature, you go there. And it is correct that the other side is the opposite, but I don't get why. That's pretty good. I nudged that up a little bit trying to dry it. Not by much though. I'm okay with that. Yeah, now it's starting to look like a ship. It's amazing how decals just add a, you know, finalizing to it. There we go. Yeah, see, that's looking nice already. Just having another thing on there, some writing. Now it's starting to pull in. Alright. Let's keep it trucking. And these old 1980s decals have worked better than 2000 decals. These didn't yellow too bad either, which is strange. And I can't remember if MPC Round 2 is releasing a new version of this. I thought so. They should. I don't know why it's such a not popular ship. It's actually a cool looking ship, and why it was only used in, you know, one episode. I can see an original trilogy because they moved on. They're back into space, but can this thing go into space, or is this thing only a, you know, an atmospheric fighter? That we don't know. And it's a cool, like, almost stealth technology, you know, like our stealths with all the angles. You know, especially this front, it's all angles. So it's kind of like, you know, did someone from ILM, like, meet with, and saw the plans for our stealth fighters, because those planes were designed way earlier than you think. But we'll just put it on there and see what works. And also I gotta see where it's centered on that. Let's see if we can see. According to this, it's a little more forward. And that would make sense to me. And I can use that big carrier film. To give me spacing. I'm going to move up towards the cockpit more. There we go. Definitely gonna put some setting solution. I should have actually just filed those things off. That detail, whatever the hell they were doing there. Soften it up a little. But like I said, this is pretty mild. The acrylic, the X20A. Working fine for me, so I never bought any Microsoft. You know, it's made all my stuff sink down, and I had some rough stuff I had to sink around contours, and yeah, see, those are sinking fine. Now we got that up on there. Alright, what's next? Everything else is optional. There's this weird little writing here. I might actually just put right here as like cockpit markings, like, you know, like fighter pilots today have. And I have to say, MPC, these whole decals you got are working better than some people's new ones. They're not overly brittle or anything weird. Yeah, I think that'll look cool. That'll give something, because most things like that, especially today, you know, have some type of, you know, tells you, well, who's the pilot. Now, I don't, whatever they call this writing, I don't know what that stuff's saying, so. Alright, so I think we're going to go off this window here and have it go forward, or do we do here and there? Do I want it there? Or do I want it here? Or do I want to go off the dot? I kind of like that better. Because that would make more sense. It'd really probably be there. So it was like a. It'd really probably be there if it was like a name. That's what I was thinking about going off of that. But I wonder if I go like that and then that kind of gives you. Let's try that. Yeah, let's try. Never tell until you said it. It might be better here. That works for me. Like I said, we're just adding detail that might not be canon, or definitely ain't canon. But like I said, sometimes with these ships that are quite accurate anyway, gives you a little more leniency to just do stuff on your own. Do the best you can, but like keep it in the world though. Yeah, like that. That's why I'm thinking I might do the other little Z's down here, or do I put them up here? I'm still not sure. Or do I do them down here? That'd be kind of cool too. Or do I do them back here? I'm thinking I might do them right here. That would be, a spot that they would normally do something like that, I would think. I'll figure it out. But that's a start on the decals. We'll be back. I'll show you what it looks like all done. I'll get a clear coat on it, and then wow, what are we to? That's pretty much it. Yeah, some weathering, but and get it on its base, but that's real simple. Let's just put it on and get wiring as far as cleaning up and getting these cleaned up and all that. The fiber optics back there, getting them all melted back and tucked away and weathering. So until then, thanks for watching.